Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place.
Hey, Positive Philter listeners, we're back again. A long break. If you listen to the mini episode before this, you'll realize that I was on a little break because a lot of things going on. One in particular joining the oldest and coldest fraternity on the planet, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to Theta Rho Lambda, the chapter that's seated in Arlington, Alexandria. We're back in full force. I got Hiller with me. And we thought, what better episode to return full length than our Q&A episode, because we definitely enjoyed doing that a couple months ago, right?
Yep. Hello, everyone. Congrats to you, Phil. I know this is joining Alpha was something that was special for you. So, just congrats to you. Shout out to Maggie for holding down you and home, you know what I'm saying? So congrats.
Thanks, bro. We don't want to go into it too much, but it was a very time-consuming process. So definitely the podcast took a little hiatus, but now we're back in full force, and we just we want to get back to the listeners, and I think what better episode to get back to the listeners than a Q&A episode, see what they want us to talk about and see what questions they have for us. So we're not going to waste, much time. We're going to go right into these questions. You down, Hiller? You ready?
Yeah. Let's get it.
Okay, so our first question is from Sam Nangman. Obviously, if you listen to the podcast, he was a guest on one about health and lifting. He's also been a really good friend to push me into doing this podcast. So he asked the question for us. He said, are there any times in your life when you couldn't decide if a relationship was harmful or not? Fortunately for me, I not say fortunately, I have not been in very many romantic relationships per se, but that's not the big, that's not the only relationship that I've had in my life. So I think this question could pertain to friendships as a relationship. And I definitely had times where I couldn't decide whether a friendship was harmful or not. I could see when you're in too deep with a friendship, you start, you accept people for, their positives and their flaws. And then you give people the benefit of the doubt. And there is times where even when you accept your friend's flaws, they may be damaging towards you. And I think for me, in regards to friendships, I'm the opposite. I give people the benefit of the doubt where, per se, they have to really, really prove themselves to be bad for me to not like them.
Right.
Some people have a thing where you have to earn their trust, and you start off in a hard place, and people have to earn your respect. Well, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and they have to earn the opposite, earn their way to not warrant my trust. And so I actually do have a hard time deciding when a relationship is harmful. I call it being naive, or call it, being overtly positive, but I have a difficulty doing that. So it usually takes someone to do something, very mean or very manipulative or something like that for me to realize that's harmful. So that's not something that comes, me having a guarded sense. It's not something that's natural for me.
Right. Oh, so let me ask you a question though. Do you think that's a good or a bad thing? I know, just follow question. You
think that's what?
Is that a good or a bad thing? Just being willing to just accept people?
I think my thing is it's not good or bad. It's just my personality. So there's times where I appreciate, where I look at, I think Maggie and you are a little bit more the opposite of me, where people have to earn their trust. But sometimes I wish I was a little bit more guarded that way. But then at the same time, it's like I wouldn't change myself. I like being open. I like, I don't know. I just, I don't think that I'm so guarded because I haven't really been, jaded by, bad relationships. Like I said, I don't have very many relationships. I didn't have very many romantic relationships to make me a jaded person. And I've had some friendships that ended. But most times my friendships have ended not because of beef or a fight or anything. It's just maybe people moved away and just life circumstances, I don't think I don't think most of my friendships have ended out of drama. So I don't know. That's just how I've gone about life. So I don't think I would change. But I do think I need to be more aware and assertive of recognizing harmful relationships. That's something that I definitely think is a weakness of mine and something I'm working on. And not to make me harder or more, hard or whatever. But I think, there's times where I need to be a little bit more, not being taken advantage of and take care of myself.
Right. Okay. Well, I am definitely the opposite of you on this one. We talked about this though previously on a different episode. Yeah, that just I'm a lot more guarded. I wouldn't, it's hard now to look back and say, were there times where, I couldn't decide if a relationship was harmful or not. I think everything, I learned a lesson from all of those situations, friendships or, just intimate relationships or whatever. But now I definitely, if and when I decided just meet people and put myself out there just for a friendship or whatever, I'm definitely more guarded now. And, I really take my time to decide is this even worth it? Is this going to be a harmful relationship? And, maybe it's just me kind of being too guarded and too much and setting my ways and just pushing people away. Because, it's a comfort zone for me anyway. It's all right, you don't let them in, you can't get hurt anyway, type of thing. So now I'm just a lot more guarded, I guess. So I don't even know if I really answered that question, but that's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah. It's hard because I think for this one it's I think there's no set, are there times in your life when you can't decide? I think that there are times in our lives we both recognize there's times, but I think for this question per se, I think moving forward is something that we're both kind of working for, and I think that we've been both taught a lesson about it, and I don't think that we absolutely found an answer of what the appropriate level of what warrants a harmful relationship is.
Right.
Lying and cheating and, saying things behind your back, they're pretty much obvious ones, but I think those are easy to say. I've actually gotten to the point, not dealing with liars and things like that. That's easy. But there's other ways where I guess a relationship is harmful when I think maybe you were putting up, we discussed this on the friendship episode, when you put a lot more into a friendship and than someone else. That's still, I think that could be harmful, not malicious harmful, but stressful. And
yeah,
I think it's hard to recognize that, in the moment. So I think we didn't answer the question. It's we learned, it's from the past. We both had decided that we had difficulty recognizing a harmful relationship.
But that's even the harmful relationship though, you look back now, they, it was a lesson in it. So you appreciate it. You know what I mean? The good and the bad relationship. So it's was it really that harmful?
Yeah.
If you get you're supposed to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that we both of us really have not been in really harmful relationships because neither one of us have suffered domestic violence or any kind of relationship like that. So,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was not in a Greg Hardy type of relationship with anybody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, those type of things, like, those are harmful. Get out right away.
Exactly.
You know,
both of us never been sexually assaulted or anything like that.
Right.
Like, so our examples of a harmful relationship are pretty light in regards to what people could really use as advice is, when they're really significant harmful relationships to other people out there. So for us, I mean, answering this question is like both our instances are like, we just had bad friends, or people that lied to us.
Right.
Maybe someone that cheated on us. But at the end of the day, that wasn't really that harmful. We kind of moved on. So Exactly. Yeah. So that obviously for the people out there that are in really seriously harmful relationships, I think the things that I think it is harder for them to recognize and decide that they're in it, because sometimes they get too far into the relationship to realize they're being abused and things like that. I think taking a step back and realizing your physical health and your emotional and mental health is at a toll. And so like we both said, we both didn't suffer something that significant before, and we feel for people that do. But that was a good starter question. Moving on, Father Chuck. Shout out to Father Chuck, or I don't know if he's still a father. He's an Episcopalian priest now, so I don't know if they call him father. But to me, he's Father Chuck. He's the one that married Maggie and I, so he knows.
Yeah, I remember him. He got on Father Chuck. Yeah.
So he said, he actually gave me two questions, and I don't know, maybe we'll split these or we'll just answer both. But he said, when have you and Hillard found yourselves being prejudiced toward others or another group? So he's asking us about being prejudiced to someone else. I think, yes, we all deal with prejudices. Have I ever flat out exhibit like real hate group prejudice? No. But I have, teased people for being different. I'm not going to lie, like in high school, high school was a rough, we still kind of make fun of people. I'm not going to lie. But I will say a significant prejudice that I had, misconception, which I talked about too. I didn't really have like a hate, but I did have a different preconceived notion of just a general group of people, the people in the LGBT community. Just off of, I don't know if it's it's ignorance. I'm not going to say a full-blown prejudice, like hating on someone, because honestly, I really didn't hate on anybody, but I did have, and I still had a preconceived prejudice, or how they are, how people lumped, how a gay or lesbian person is supposed to act, or how I'm supposed to act around them, if I'm supposed to act different, and I would actually use that as my example of my group of people, and as I discussed in the episode of Pride that I did with Jesse, I think the main thing that helped me work on that prejudice or that ignorance that I had was, developing relationships with people that are different than me, and they helped me with my prejudice. And I think that, I particularly talked about with Jesse is that how her influence and my relationship with her actually set the perception that I did have of a group that I may have exhibited prejudice toward. But like in my life, you make fun of people, and the lunch table at Mount Vernon was a rough place. That's not being prejudiced though. Like that's just us joning on each other and just cracking jokes. I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not even like being mean at that point if you're going back and forth. Now, you just kind of singling out a person just going at them.
I mean, no, but there was times.
That's different,
but there was times where we, let's not lie. Like, we definitely got on someone and they really had no return. So we were just making fun of someone. So.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. But
that's not being prejudiced, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I really can't think of like an example. Like, I don't know. I really didn't have an example for me that says you can't sit here kind of prejudice or like, I hate them. I mean, I hate racists. I'm prejudiced toward them, but
right.
I don't know if that's really a bad prejudice. Like,
that's just not to me, like, that's just not a bad prejudice. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't like racism. I don't like racist people. So to me, like, that's not a bad prejudice, though. That's a prejudice, but to me, it's like, hey, that's a good prejudice. So
but even when I watch documentaries, you know, they're like, you know, I watch documentaries and they like try to humanize prejudice. Like, look, they have families and like kids and all that stuff. I still I don't like them, and I don't feel empathetic toward them.
Right.
I don't know, that sounds bad to say, but like how they overtly can hate on someone else, I don't feel bad when things like that does not sound very Christian of me, and I'm fully being honest and transparent. Like, I have a really hard time having empathy for someone that's overtly racist. You know, like if like a racist got beat up, right? Like I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for that person, and I know that's not Christian. I mean, I know that would be a part. Okay, that would be another example where I feel like maybe it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't feel a very good sense of empathy for that person.
Right. Well, I mean, I can give you one in recent years.
Okay, go ahead.
Donald Trump. I mean, I ain't trying to get all political, but like, yo, I have no like in my heart for this guy. Like, not even a little bit. Like, it's sad, man. Like, and it's because of just like he spews negativity. You know what I'm saying? I don't give him attention or want to give him attention, but I'm just saying, like, just on a very short note, like, yep, towards him, yeah, there's no love, like, at all, nothing. No empathy, no sympathy. I'm sorry. Like, if I upset people by saying that, you know, that's just how I feel. But, and we only got to, like, analyze that joint no more, talk about it, or whatever. You can just leave it there.
Well, I will say this, too. Now, and I have a really hard time. Now, Donald Trump individually as a person, I agree with you 100%. I'm still in this gray zone where I have a hard time having I mean, I personally don't have conversations with his supporters. Like, that's going to be a prejudice group that I have, because I think that, you know, I'm really working toward believing, like, maybe people voted for him or believe, you know, that he was the correct candidate for, you know, economic reasons or stuff like that. But I have a really hard time with that. And I do have pre-existing prejudice toward his supporters. Like, I feel like they're, you know, this is probably a prejudice that I do not believe that all his supporters are overtly racist, right? But I have a hard time not feeling prejudice toward them and thinking they're racist. But that makes sense.
Right.
Because there's gonna be a lot of people that are his supporters that are gonna be like, I'm not a racist, and how dare you, you know, put me in a blanketed statement. So I think that's kind of the second level to that question. It's like, I have a hard time believing that the people, you know, like, for him individually, I agree with you 100%. I'm in this middle zone where I'm trying to, you know, separate those people that supported him from the people that they are and their values and things like that. And it's so intertwined. And I think that maybe they just voted, you know, some people voted for him particularly just because they didn't want to vote for Hillary. You know, that could be one of their examples. And I don't know. So, for I think that's I do have a prejudice toward, and I'm really trying to wrap my mind around it, because I definitely don't believe that you can adequately assume a holistic view of a person based on who they voted for president.
Right.
But it's hard.
Right.
And my mind is, you know, we say prejudice is already like your preconceived perception of people. It's already set really hard and really firm because of Donald Trump, not those people. he set that perception of his supporters.
Right.
And also when you look at YouTube and look at the rallies and look at all the stuff that was going on during his campaign and all that stuff, it set a perception of what that was. Whether that's accurate or whether that's correct, I'm not going to be one to say that, but it set my perception for sure.
Right.
So that's a group. I think we get a roundabout way to come to that one.
Right.
Let's move on. The next one is you both describe your faith is important to you. How would you describe your faith, and how's okay? Sorry, you both mentioned faith is important to you. How would you describe your faith? How is that faith important to you? How do you apply your faith in your lives, and how do you intend to pass it down to the next generation? All right, so I'm going to be flat out. I've just recently come back to going back to church, being active in church, reading at church. And I'll be quite honestly, one of the things that brought me back into church and spirituality was this movement of positivity and the Ill Phil Awards. And I mean, I know that sounds corny to say, but I really thought to myself, like, how can I exhibit this make the world a better place kind of thing without a spiritual component? And so, I don't know, a weird way, a roundabout way, me doing silly awards and trying to make people feel good and spread positivity and all that stuff, it brought me back to faith. It kind of brought me back to faith because I think it's intertwined. Now, do I believe everyone has to believe in the same thing I do in Christianity? I don't believe so. Even principles of Buddhism and other religions, have that mindset. But I do believe you need to believe in something. Like, you don't just endlessly flip through life. You have something that drives you to do something to make this world a better place. I think that need to make this world a better place has a very strong spiritual component. And, because that's what we're, has a purpose, and purpose has a spiritual component. Like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I doing stuff? And that brought me back to church. And I think for me, I enjoyed the going back in faith because the community aspect. I enjoy reading. I enjoy like having an activity at church. I feel like it's important. I didn't tell you this, but Bennett goes to a Christian preschool, and so now he's been saying prayers and saying, I go to chapel on Fridays to see Jesus, and that kind of makes me feel good. So I definitely for the next generation, I do want Bennett to shape his own spirituality. I want him to believe in something. I want him to have strong morals. I want him to have a purpose of making this world a better place. So I definitely want to bring him to church with me. When he gets when he grows up and he becomes an adult, obviously he's going to shape his own faith, like how I shape my own faith. But I think having a faith in something, being a part of a religious community, having spirituality is important for everyone because it drives you. I think it gives you a good moral compass on like why you're here, what are you doing it for, how to treat others. There's so many lessons you can learn from going to church. I really feel like I don't know. That kind of it brings back full circle to like I don't know. I'm at a lost for words because it's beyond just me. Sometimes that having that faith it gives you purpose, makes you drive. Going through tough times and using prayer or things like that, it helps. I think
it keeps you focused, man. Keeps you, keeps you grounded. So I mean, well, I grew up in the church, so like it was a part of my life. But then kind of like fall away or whatever. And then come back and then fall away and come back and kind of been like that back and forth. But, since being here, like I've been to a couple different churches I didn't really like, most of them. So I don't have like a church I attend or whatever, but You know, I get up, I read my Bible, I pray, you know, and it really helps me. Like, it helps me focus. It helps keep me grounded. It helps keep me motivated. Like I know Katie, she prays with Maddie at nighttime, and then like when I get Maddie, you know, on weekends and stuff, like we pray, and I'm like, Maddie, let's pray, and she come and she sit on my lap, and you know, she hold her hands together, and you know, it's a real short one because you know she's not gonna sit there too long, but you know, we just pray real quick, and then she says amen with me. Like, it's actually pretty dope. But you know, it's like passing that, just knowing that, hey, this is something that's important to me. It's something that was a big part of my life growing up, something that kept me grounded, even when I was making dumb mistakes and being stupid and being young, right? It was something that I always like fell back on at some point. So it's like, this is something for you. You know, I think this would help you in your life now. It's up to her. You know, I'm going to raise her that way, but it's up to her to kind of decide if, you know, where she wants, you know, to kind of find her space in her spirituality, you know. I think just growing up and just getting older and wanting to grow in your spirituality, like that's what, you know, and kind of moving away from some of those religion and tradition type of things. I think that was important for me and my faith, because if I had to stay there, I probably wouldn't be as, you know, grounded in my faith, or I probably wouldn't be so willing, because a lot of those, you get wrapped up in so much of those traditions, and I think they're pretty closed-minded, and I don't think that's the way we're supposed to be. So, you know, it was just growing as well. Like, it helps me grow, helps me just, you know, it's the number one thing, like, that drives, like, that's part of my life that drives me. You know what I'm saying? So it drives me to want to do everything, be a dad, you know, be a good counselor, you know, help people, you know, support people. Like, it drives all of that. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of my things is my parents raised me to go to Christian school, and then they always was like, go to church, and I'm not saying I rebelled against it, but I was like, at a certain point I was like, yo, I wanted them to stop telling me to go to church, and I wanted to find it on my own. I wanted to do it on my own, or do it for myself, not for them. And I think I finally got to a place at 32 years old, where I'm going to church not because, and I get a text from my dad or something like that. Like, I'm going to church because I wanted to go to church.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And ideally, bring the whole family into it. You know, but because I believe, you know, that the father is the spiritual head of the household. Or, you know, at least a parent, or both, or if you're a single parent, one of the parents, the parent is a spiritual leader. Like, the parent's not active or feeling church, regardless, then your kids are going to follow. So it's a big responsibility on parents. I think that's why a lot of parents get back into church, because they finally, when they're on their own, they're living single, you know, just living life, but then when they have a life that they're responsible for, it kind of keeps you in gear, like, okay, what kind of example am I setting? Am I setting you know, like, some people it's like physical, like, am I setting a good fitness, you know, so they get into fitness because, like, I want my kids to look at someone that's healthy, right? And so I think for me, it's like, what kind of spiritual person am I setting for my son? So it's kind of like that kind of, the Phil Awards and having kids and all that stuff kind of jump-started me going back into church. And it, you know, not to say God is not going anywhere, but he's always there. So, like, when people kind of fall astray in life, you know, I think most people eventually, you know, when things happen, whether they're positive or negative or interactions with others, you know, they'll come back, you know, like, you know, the prodigal son. So, you know, I think life circumstances kind of brought me back into thinking about faith in a serious manner. So, and it, you know, am I going to church every week now? No, I'm not going to lie to the listeners, but when I do go to church, I like it. And I like reading.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I like being a part. Like, I like also being a part of the mass, because, like, I don't want to just sit there and just kind of like just not participate. So I like having a role. I gotta get that from my dad too. My dad likes to have roles in church. My mom too. Both my parents actually. My dad likes to count the money. My dad likes to count the money at the church, and my mom, she did the Eucharistic thing. You know, he gave the people the bread.
Oh yeah.
She does that too. So both my parents have set the example of actually not just going to church, but actually doing stuff in the church. That's why I'm a good example. All right, so next one is from Laura. She said, how do you balance career, family, hobbies, and taking care of yourself? You seem to have it all figured out. Well, she really didn't know. I took a long gap, so I don't have it all figured out.
I'm gonna let you answer this one because I don't have none of this figured out. So I have nothing to input on this one.
Yeah, talk about balance. Okay, so let me just go back and say, like, maybe she sees my social media stunning, like that I look like I have it all together, but I really don't. Like,
you put a lot of stuff on that Google Calendar, man. So I mean, you organized with it.
What's it called? Organized chaos. Organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing. One thing to say, how do I balance? Is like one of the things about balance is that not everything in your pie is going to get an equal chunk. So I would say with going along with family, career, and hobbies and all that stuff, realizing what things might have to fall back. For example, this podcast, when I was super busy, this podcast had to fall back for a little bit. That helped me with balance. Another thing that helps me with balance is, like you said, being organized, a Google Calendar, and actual physical planner, because I like to write it down. It helps me to write it down. So I am definitely a nerd that has a Google Calendar electronically that I can check on my phone or the computer, but at the same time I have an actual paper copy in my planner. And another thing that was helpful for balance is a partner. So this is, once again, shout out to Maggie. We share the Google Calendar. She knows what I'm doing. She supports me. She supported me pursuing Alpha. She support me with my jobs. She supports me with Bennett. Obviously, support me, and we're parenting together. So I think with the balance part is I have a reliable partner to help me balance stuff, because in addition to taking on a lot of stuff by yourself, there's times where I'm like, I couldn't do things without a good support system. I'm even going to shout out my LBs, my line brothers, because there were times where they helped me balance and did things. It's not just LB, my sponsor and recommender, Maurice and Kevin. It's just like other people. Basically, I'm just giving shout outs to other people, because with that balance, you can't take you can't take care of all this stuff on your own. You got to definitely have you definitely got to have support and like a team, like a support team. But I definitely want to say shout out for you thinking I have it all figured out. I really don't. I'm just plugging away. It's organized chaos.
And it's just communication. You know what I mean? It's like like you said, you're not going to be able to give everything the same amount of time, but it's like you give what you can, or what you may feel like you can do in that 24 hours span. Whatever you can't get done, it's left to the next day, and you got to communicate with your partner. Or for me, communication is still big, because we still got to talk and we still communicate for Maddie. So and we do it in a good way. So it's just communication, to get that balance, and so.
I think also, in general, like you definitely put a lot on your plate, but I think as much as you can really be organized and have a system, create a system that works for you. That's how you stay balanced. So, shout out to Laura thinking I have it together. We'll see. I survived 2017, so we'll see how 2018 goes. Being busy. So next question. We're plugging away now. We got like,
Yep.
we got like, you definitely said that. We're going to talk like that. We're almost at 40 minutes, so let's
we got to answer these questions a little faster.
Maybe that, or maybe we can save a couple, man. Let's save one. No.
We always save a couple, yo. We got to go through the whole list, man. We always say, like, yo, we're going to save a couple.
Okay,
let's finish this up, man. We can do it. I believe it.
I definitely said this is going to be a short episode. I'm lying.
I told you that. Okay. No, it's not.
Do you use group messaging? Okay, this is anonymous, and obviously someone is trolling us because they said, "Do you use group messaging?" Duh.
It's Armand. Armand said this question.
Do you use group messaging? Do you have separate groups with friends and jokes? Do you think it's healthy, or do you think it could be unhealthy?
First of all, we're in like almost every group, like on my phone. Like seriously, almost every group that I have on my phone, like we're in it together. And so
I just realized like how many levels. Like I definitely need to turn my, like there was a time where I took a break from social media or whatever, but like it's not even just social media. Like Hillary, I just realized I have a group. Like GroupMe. Have you heard of that app?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
So I have GroupMe with my with like people from my fraternity. I have a group.
Right.
I have Google Hangout. I have Google Hangout at work and with you. I have text. I have Facebook Messenger. I use the Messenger inside of Instagram.
Yep.
And that's pretty much. I don't really message people back and forth on Snapchat, but like those are all those things. Literally, I have like 100. I don't even want to look at how many conversations I'm doing. So maybe it's not healthy.
Yeah, you have way more than me, but like it's like we got a few groups, like text message groups on like my phone. Then I got the IG, then I got the Google Hangout, but that's with you. The IG with you again. Like 3 of the text message groups, you're in it. Like our friendship might be unhealthy. Like,
hey,
that might be it.
Back to Sam's question. I think we just realized before.
We have a harmful, unhealthy relationship.
No, I didn't realize how many conversations. And they do have separate groups, and they have different jokes, and like
for real, like yeah.
I think one of the things you got to be careful about is like saying something that's not relevant to another group. I haven't really got caught doing that yet, or saying like the wrong joke, or saying the wrong joke or something like that.
Right.
No, but yeah. So
I don't have a group for that.
I'm not gonna condense it because obviously I have all these groups for a particular reason and a way of staying. You know me, I'm Mr. Stay in Contact. So no, am I gonna condense my groups? No, I'm not. So
there you go.
If it's unhealthy, I don't care.
So we're gonna vote and say it's healthy. All right, let's go. Next question, though.
What type of wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? What type of wood?
We really gonna entertain this question, huh?
Cherry. What's it? Cherry wood.
I don't know. I'm gonna say cedar. That's a wood, right?
Yeah, cedar's a wood. Okay, we answered that one. Good.
There you go.
This is good. This is Paul Davis. Shout out to Paul from Bond from JMU. Go Dukes. He actually has a 2-part question. It says, top 5 hip-hop album. Okay. And then he said, what type of music, hip-hop, or that makes you feel positive? All right, but I'm not going to do top 5 hip-hop albums like ever. I'm going to do 5 ones I like. So I'm about to write them down or just go off. Ones I like.
All right.
I'm not even going to go into the hip-hop heads and get in the argument about this one has more lyrics. This one has more lyrics. I'm not doing that because everyone has an
That's
opinion.
exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say the exact same thing, man. Like I'm not because you're gonna leave somebody's album out, and somebody gonna be like, nah, you wrong. Yeah, like
no, I'm not doing that.
So you want to change this to like let's do this year.
I'm not doing this year because I don't even think I can think of 5 albums. Well, maybe I can't think. Okay, 5 albums I like this year. That's I like. Okay,
that you like. Yeah.
All right, I like this year. Okay, 5. Kendrick Lamar's Damn.
Mhm.
That this year?
Yeah, that's this year.
Was J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only this year? Or was that last year?
That was last year.
It was?
That wasn't last year? Maybe it was like early this year.
No. Okay, I'm just counting it. Let's just count it. Whatever. For Your Eyes, Damn. Dang, what am I thinking about? Young Dolph's album.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Pretty girls like trap music. 2 Chainz.
Yeah. 2 Chainz was dope. Yeah.
I like that one. That was this year, right? For sure. That was 4. That's 4. And these are ones I like. And man, I'm having a hard time thinking of the last one. Give me one that we listen to together. So I said J. Cole,
Jay-Z.
Kendrick Lamar. Huh? Who?
Jay-Z.
Oh yeah, I did like that one. Okay, that's my 5.
Yeah. Like, in no order. Like,
no order.
Just this
I
year.
didn't care about order. No, just this year and the ones I liked. So what do we Damn. So Damn, For Your Eyes Only, The Pretty Girls Love Trap, the Young Dolph one. I can't. He had more than one, but the one with 100 shots on it.
Okay.
And then the Jay-Z one. 440. Those are the ones I liked particularly this year.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z. I'm gonna go with Kendrick. I'm gonna go with Crit. Yeah, I can't stop listening to that album right now. Okay,
pause. I love Crit. I definitely want to put it in there, but I haven't listened to it yet. I've been like so
Oh man, yo.
Well, I haven't listened to it. I listened to that one song like "Get the Devil Off Me." I listened to that one on repeat, but I haven't listened to it all the way through. So
man, the album, I love that album.
Most likely that might kick Dolph out, but I gotta listen to it first.
Oh, it should. It should. You can just like kick him out right now, like without listening to the album. Just off my word. Trust me. I'm not letting you down, Phil.
Okay.
So, and then the Meek album. I really like that Meek album. I don't know why.
I haven't listened to it yet.
But I really like that one. And I really like the 2 Chainz album, so I got to go with 2 Chainz too. Like that was in heavy rotation for the summer for me. Like,
it was a summer. It was my summer one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
and just a little side note, like I got in an argument and I said, "Yo, I am actually a real hardcore. I'm a 2 Chainz fan." And they were like, and I was like, I don't care about lyrics. He's like, it entertains me. And that's what I think some people get so stuck on lyrics and like flow and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, but also music is also entertainment. So like, does it make you happy? Do you like to dance to it? Do you ride to it? Does it make you feel like that? Kind of leads into the second question. I don't want to have to think about everything all the time. Sometimes I just want to like not think too much about the lyrics and just have fun. And 2 Chainz for me is one of my most fun personalities in hip hop. Like, for me, 2 Chainz is funny. Like, I actually laugh sometimes when he rhymes because he'll say funny stuff. He'll say funny stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like she got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty. That joke's funny. What?
So then it goes into like, so I mean, that's that's it right there. Like, 2 Chainz, hey, it puts you in a good mood, Just kind of leading to the second half of that question, like.
Yeah, like,
and
fun music. There's fun hip hop music. There's fun hip hop music. Okay, so there definitely is, like, when I listen to Cole or listen to, like, Crit or something like that sometimes, but even Crit has a mixture of songs that are kind of fun, but then he has, like, deep songs.
Right.
And Cole, I mean, all artists, I think the artists like Cole and them, like, even Kendrick has, like, fun songs, too.
Right.
And he has deep lyrics, like, if you really analyze his lyrics, like, geez, what is he? He's saying some real stuff, right?
Right.
But, like, for me, there's times where, like, there's definitely hip-hop music where, like, Migos, Future, and, like, 2 Chainz, where I'm just literally listening to them to turn up and have fun. And, like, even if I'm at work, I just put them on and I'll just, I get my work done. Like, I'm not really thinking about, like, oh, wow, he's really analyzing the social economic status of black people in today's America. Like, no.
Right.
No. I'm listening to him talk about big booty, so I call it big booty. That joke's the funniest word I've ever. Like, he's funny. He's actually a funny person. I want to hang out with him someday. For 2 Chainz.
Yeah. That would be a fun night. That would be a fun time. For sure.
Yeah, like, I watched this other show about him where he tries really expensive food and, like, really expensive stuff. And he's actually funny.
What didn't he try like a $12,000 like donut or something? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you doing? This is crazy.
You know who else is kind of slept on? Is fun. It's a fun rapper, Action Bronson.
Yeah, I think you know what did him in? He lost a lot of credibility when he tried to go with Ghostface. So I haven't really heard about him a ton since then.
He had a new album this year. It was okay.
Okay. See.
It was nice.
But
there's so much music. We definitely couldn't do top 5 hip hop albums.
Yeah. Now, I mean, and then I listen to I listen to reggae too. Like, that's just culture music to me, but it puts me in a good mood. Like, it makes me happy. Yeah. Like, and then like the fun part of reggae, then the dancehall. So I listen to that too, and so that put me in a, kind of just that more fun, energetic type side, and reggae, definitely more you're thinking and you're vibing type of music. So, but it's all positive for me.
Yeah, that's a good question, Paul. I would say though, top 5. But I'm not gonna just one interjection. Not top 5 hip hop albums of all time, but one classic album that I still randomly catch myself coming back to. It's Dark and Hell is Hot by DMX.
That's a classic album though. Like,
well, because it was like for me that was my first explicit rap album that I purchased and listened to in a CD player. So for me, it has a very personal touch. Like people like that joke came out like when you were in the 8th grade. Well, I listened. I didn't get. I was pretty, I guess I went to Christian school, so I didn't really. I was pretty sheltered until I got to Mount Vernon. So that was my first real I felt bad how I had to listen to that joke on my CD player. That joke was really raw.
Yeah, it was.
That joke had me passive aggressive mean like angry teenager.
Right.
No, I mean when I say angry teenager, I wasn't. I was just like mad in my room. I didn't talk.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're talking about DMX on. They can't tell me what to do. Yes, they told me what to do. Yeah, that was my first. So that one stuck with me. But yeah, fun hip hop puts me in a better mood. Songs that turn up. All right, so this is Katie, aka Katie Masana, aka my Hermana. She says, as we are surrounded by so much sadness and negativity in the news and all around the world, what are some ways you stay positive?
Don't watch the news. That's one of the ways Yo, I'm dead serious. I do not watch it. I know I'm going to see sad stuff. I just turn it off. If I want to know and be informed, I'll go on Yahoo's page, even though, okay, yeah, they're not that credible. But, you know, I'll go on the internet and go to news pages. Like, you know, I'll go to, like, and then read what I want and get off, you know, to stay informed. But,
See, this is something I learned from someone, is that, okay, you are what you consume, right? So, like, obviously, you have a physical diet, right? Your diet, you know, your food is what it is. But your mind is intaking information. And so you need to have portion control with that. Mind you, do you need to be ignorant to what's going on in the world? No. But do you need to massively consume, have the news on the TV all the time? No. So, you know, I get my very small stick of news as I listen to this podcast called Up First. It's only 15 minutes, and it literally just does like world news and politics, and it tells you what's going on in the world. So I feel informed. It talks about Donald Trump or a major deal or China relations, but it only does it in 15 minutes. I listen to it in the morning, and that's literally my main news for the day. I'm not consuming so much. So it keeps me informed, so I'm not like totally ignorant of what's going on in the world. But I am. Right. It's almost like when you're on Nutrisystem or whatever. Like you literally eat only a little bit. So what you need to feel like I'm only consuming the news to keep me informed enough, keep me informed enough, but not overwhelm me. That makes sense. Because like obviously, I think people should be well read. I think you should read books. I think you should know what's going on in the world. But it's like at the same time, you need to like have a diet or something like that in moderation. Because that junk could get you really jacked up if you let it overwhelm you.
I totally agree. I mean, I went one day, and I'm not knocking anybody that does this. Like, so don't take this personal at all. But one day I went and I listened to NPR like all day, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is just like it was too negative for me. Like, you know, like it was giving out like good information at times and good like research and like, hey, this is all, you know, giving out these facts or whatever, right? But man, like the amount of bad, like just negative stuff that it was just covering, and I was just like, yo, this is too much. Like I felt my mood like change as I, you know, was listening to it, and I was like, yo, I can't do this. So like you said, like in portion, like, you know, but. It was just something I wanted to try, and I was like, I'm going to give it a shot.
And I mean, and then on the flip side, like, what ways do you stay positive? Like, consuming things, like, you know how you're supposed to consume vegetables and fruit and healthy foods? Well, then you consume positive things, like I said, listening to good music or, you know, listening to...
Talking to those people, like...
I listen to a podcast about, like, I like to listen to things about people that overcome, you know, like success story podcasts and things like that. Or I listen to this guy named Lewis Howes. He's called the School of Greatness, Lewis Howes, and all he does is he has guests on there that done really cool things, and he interviews them. And then on Fridays he does 5-minute Fridays where he just talks about like a self-help improvement topic for 5 minutes. It says like you can conquer the world and do whatever. Those like I said, I'm ingesting things that get me in a good mindset as well. So I think that's one of the ways to stay positive is I do portion control, where I input good, feel good stuff, but also I mean I'm not telling people don't avoid and put blinders on and say the world is all you know butterflies and rainbows. You need to be informed. You need to read the books. You need to know what's going on with like Charlottesville and stuff like that and all that stuff. But I got that from Up First. They talked about it and they told you what like, it's a news story. So I felt informed. I know what's going on. You know, with the Vegas shooting and all that stuff. I know what's going on because I listened to that news source. I was like, I didn't over fixate on it too. Because I mean that's just one way I stay positive is that I don't want to look at the world as like a completely negative place, but I need to also like I said, we also need to be very like mindful that what's going around our surroundings because it can also be helpful. Like we need to be safe, and to be safe you need to be informed about what's going on, but at the same time you don't want to be like jaded, right? So just monitor what you consume. if you got 2 hours of depressing NPR, make sure you have 2 hours of uplifting stories. Balance it out. If that's the case.
Right. And I mean, you talk to those people. Talk to the people that that uplift you. That after you finish talking to them, you feel good. They put you in a good mood. Find those people. Find things that you like to do. And then the things that keep you grounded and to help you to stay positive and stay motivated. Like, make sure you're doing those things. Like you said, a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. If you're trying to do that, you got to build certain habits to be successful at doing those things. So it's the same way if you just, you want to be more positive, or you just want to have a positive mind frame, is doing those positive things, constantly to help you to get to that point. So, I mean, I talk to you, I call you, I call, other friends, and, I call family. I pray, I read my Bible, I exercise, like all these things, I like doing them, so I do them, and it helps me to stay positive, when things are just going on that I'm not like a fan about. Like, I will like I've gotten mad and I just get in my car and I go straight to the gym and I just go work out, Now I feel better, get the endorphins going, so, yeah.
Okay, the last question, so we did make it through, is why is your intro 1 minute long? Because that's how long it took me to record it. I don't know.
Definitely somebody trolling.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because we're going to answer all the questions. And we answered all of them.
We answered all the questions. So
there you go.
We did it. It was a good episode. I wanted the listeners to know I do have a Patreon account. Patreon is a way that you can support creative endeavors by subscribing monthly. With that subscription monthly, there's special incentives like a hat or certificate, things like that. So I'll drop the link to the Patreon account. You can donate, as little as $1 a month to up to $5 or $10 a month. Anything that's anything that you do is greatly appreciated for that Patreon account. Be on the lookout. Hopefully I'll get some more merchandise. I know we haven't made shirts and hats and things in a while, but I'm working on developing that stuff so that the listeners can go out there and rock the gear and support the podcast. So be on the lookout for shirts and stuff. Me and Hillard recorded this episode, obviously, via our phones. So we're going to work on the quality of the podcast. Hillard, big news, right? He's coming home. I said it in the podcast. I don't care. And so we're going to be able to record some episodes.
I like to fly below the radar.
No one listen to the show and say that. Like, how many listeners we got? Like 5?
Come on, man. That's way to be modest.
So, the point is, we're going to record some episodes, so be on the lookout. Give us some topics that you want us to talk about, because we're going to record some episodes. Because I'm going to make them record episodes with me. But thank you for supporting us. We definitely got a lot of things coming. Like I said, we took a little break. But we're back, and not only the end of 2017, but 2018, it's going to be a good year for the podcast. We're going to keep it going, keep spreading that positivity. I don't know. Just really, really excited about that. So thank you so much for everyone that stuck with the podcast during the break, and we're back in full attack. And so, that's all I can say. You got anything to say, Hillary?
That's it, man. You hit all the points, man. Thank you guys for just supporting. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So catch you on the flip side.